That might have been too loud. Ooh, we are back. We're back. What's up, Robert? We got a guest on the show today, in case you guys don't know. And Christian is running late, so we were just going to hot mic him until he gets here. He's going to waltz in through the door and just scoot over to his microphone. But in the meantime, Robert, welcome.
Mike, thanks for having me, sir.
Absolutely, brother. How did you end up here?
Well, my good friend Glenn told me about you guys. He was on your podcast a couple weeks ago, and made a big impact. So he said, listen, come on down and check you guys out.
Yeah, Glenn, that was what he said on the podcast. He said that he got into the industry because he's a connector, right? Like he comes from if I remember correctly, he was in like nightlife and promotions and whatnot. So for him, he's in the business of connecting people, and now he's just connecting people in our industry too. So it's cool to have you. That's awesome.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, man.
How do you know Glenn?
So me and Glenn actually used to freestyle and battle rap back in high school.
Okay.
So
you always beat him?
No, he actually was the amazing
superior.
over everyone.
Okay.
So we had a bunch of battles. And
meanwhile, both of you are like, I don't know what to do with this microphone. Like both of you were like,
Well, back then there was no mics. It was just circles and.
I mean, yeah, but you had what you had.
Yeah.
Interesting. Where'd you guys go to school?
So we went to Eastern Tech.
Okay.
Can I say names on there?
Why not?
Yeah, Eastern Tech in the county. So
yeah, why not?
It's a magnet school, so we bonded easily from the start and hung around each other as we grew into adults as well.
And you grew up around that way. You grew up in like White Marsh area.
White Marsh, Essex area.
Okay.
So
is that where he's from?
He's from like Dundalk.
Okay.
Turner Station.
Yeah. Surprising you guys were even friends. It's like two opposite ends of the poop factory over there.
Well, the school was kind of small, and it was a magnet school, so he did actually construction, and I was in culinary arts back then. So
neither of you are doing anything.
Yeah, nothing like that.
What do you do with your life today?
So I'm actually a teacher from Baltimore City.
Okay.
Do a little basketball coaching and training as well.
Okay.
So
are you in the city teaching?
Yes.
Where at?
So it's called North Bend Elementary, in Catonsville.
Okay.
So
okay,
it's a middle school, elementary school. So I've been there about
off like
Frederick Road.
Yeah, Frederick Road and 40.
Yeah.
Or is that 40?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right 40. Yeah.
Okay.
So
exciting. You like it there?
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm actually a former ELA teacher. So I taught English for about 5 years. I actually decided.
Damn, you've been teaching for a while.
I know, man. So I actually quit and came back, and now I'm a PE teacher.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like a jack of all trades, man.
Okay.
So
you like it more?
I love it. I'm in a mixture right now. I'm doing a lot of things. I do like with photography, videography, do a lot of community stuff, kind of like Glenn, connecting individuals with the community. But I love just being me, so I can show up to school and kind of like play basketball. The kids look up to me. I
mean, they're only this big, so
yeah, they're definitely in my knees, so
they'd be looking up to me at that school.
I used to teach third grade too, so it was like amazing. So
okay, so how did you end up on the podcast? We're talking about sneaker culture. Like, how did that come up?
Yeah, man. So I had this dream like during COVID about doing a podcast.
Okay,
and I kind of like create this brand called Fresh to the Soul. So my desire was to really have a sneaker company. And with the play of like the word Fresh to the Soul, it's like having a fresh mind, a fresh soul, a brand new start. But about like a year ago, I had a couple of friends actually made it happen. So with their help and assistance, we actually put it together and made a 5-episode podcast. So
how did that do?
Oh, amazing, man. We just released it about 5 weeks ago.
Okay.
And yesterday was the last episode.
Damn.
Got the opportunity to go inside of some amazing landmarks. A lot of my friends are sneakerheads or fathers or just individuals I grew up with. So to be able to tell their story and also show the world, if you know me, you know I love sneakers. So I actually used to work at Finish Line over at White Marsh and East Point for about a long time ago. So I learned about the sneaker culture and now sharing the world, my viewpoint, how I met these individuals have been amazing, man. So
it is a wild, like, I don't know anything about sneaker culture, to be honest with you. Nothing, like literally zero. The only thing I know is what I watch on TikTok. Dude, like these guys will go into, what is it, like a convention center type setup, and they buy and sell and trade. And these little kids, I mean, they'll be like 8-year-old boys over there, like hawking off like Jordans, like, nah, you can't give me 185. It's got to be 190. I'm like, bro, you're 8. Like, go away, right? But it's a big deal.
I think the crazy thing is that like it teaches kids at a young age how to be entrepreneurs. The opportunity to make money and flip it, and understand like stocks and the market.
I think the biggest thing that was missing when we were growing up was value of money. Not necessarily like understanding it. I actually would make an argument that we had a better understanding for like $1.
Yeah.
But the difference was that back then $1 was buying a milkshake at the Burger King, right? Like that was what I would ride out to Burger King to buy a milkshake, ride back home, right? But now it's not like A, nothing is $1. And B, it's not about a milkshake at the Burger King anymore. Now it's about like much more valuable things, right? Oh, I want a new computer. I want a new phone. I want sneakers. I want whatever my investment is. And then all of a sudden it becomes like, oh, to get there, that hard work that I can create. And I do think that is a value that we see in some of these, I don't know, unique cultures, as you say, right?
Yeah, I think that like understanding like what the goal is, the mission, trying to gain multiple shoes or trying to stretch your dollar is amazing.
So how many shoes do you have today?
Man, so I would say I have a lot. I'll say probably over like 400 shoes, but also some of them are stuff I have as a collection. A lot of them are stuff I sell as well. So
will you wear them ever?
Some of them I won't. I think some of them are like prized possessions.
How many of those 400?
Man. Like I got a lot of Kobe Bryant. So kind of those are like, because he passed away. It's like, man, they may not never come back out again.
Yeah.
So
well, it'll never be the same.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe like between 20 and 30, like I probably
that you would never wear.
Yeah.
So you have 350, 370 that like you wear occasionally.
Like if I want to dress up and have an outfit, or I have a couple of shoes that like I just love, and we call them beaters. I just wear all the time. I don't care about.
What is your beater shoe of choice?
My beater shoe right now is the Asics. It's
okay.
Like comfortable, kind of like a dad shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just put them on, and
I can't even imagine somebody trading those shoes.
Yeah, not at all. But believe it or not, they sell out quick right now. Like Asics are kind of like one of the shoes that are popular. Like sneaker culture goes in seasons and waves and trends. So like right now,
this
like
shit is wild.
I know they're running shoes are kind of like more popular because they're comfortable. So it's like now it used to be just buy any shoe that's bulky.
Yeah.
Now it's like the shoes that are comfortable. That's what we want.
Interesting. I don't even understand it. For me, it's more like I don't want to spend too much money.
Yeah.
But then I watch some of these TikToks. It's like wild. And the way they analyze the shoes, the way they know like what year they came out, whatever. Just from looking at a tag, I'm like, bro, this is crazy.
So I used to be the same way, like, because I used to work at Finish Line. I'm plugging in Annie Ann's Pretzels. I was a manager there for about 17 years.
Okay.
So I would work
in the mall, nonetheless.
In the mall,
yeah.
Mall jobs, So I would work at Finish Line in the morning time, and then walk down to Annie Ann's, around like 2:00. So I would see the same customers that I sold shoes to, and they might have got a different shoe, but I could tell by the the name of the shoe or even the box what kind of shoe it was, what colorway it was. So I think sneakerheads have a certain superpower where they can tell a certain historical moment based off a sneaker.
That's crazy, bro.
And
that's
most of us
wild.
all have stories too. So like certain shoes bring back certain memories and thoughts.
So how many people did the Kicks and Convos podcast?
So we had 5 individuals
on all 5 episodes.
So one episode, one person each.
So you and one guest.
Yep.
Okay. And what did you guys talk about? 5 episodes.
5 episodes. Sneaks. One of my friends named Trey is actually a fashion designer or a sneaker enthusiast and does styling. So we talked about how the sneaker culture changed, how to pick and select certain shoes. My one friend named is Boots. He's actually a sneaker cleaner. He actually is kind of like a global legend in the area.
I forgot about that. I've watched those TikToks. Those ASMR ones were like... Right? Like I've watched one where the dude like buried the sneaker in like mud and then poured water on it and then this, that, and the other and like reached in, pulled it out and like.
Have you ever seen any sneaker cleaners like in the mall that kind of stop you like, hey, let me see your shoe?
I don't go to the mall that often, but I know like what you're talking about.
Yeah. You just gotta run from them.
Why?
They're trying to sell you like a shoe cleaning package for $100.
Oh my God.
You can do it yourself, at home with some toothpaste,
I mean, these dudes, they get in, and it looks like a brand new shoe, and I never understand it. But
so Boost is amazing. He has normally when individuals in the area are shooting videos or movie sets, they go to him for his collection. So like The Wire, his shop was featured there, and also some of his shoes as well.
Okay.
Another gentleman we have named is Berto. Berto is actually he used to have a sneaker store called 9 and 10 Condition, and he also had one called Hidden Gem as well. He actually shifted to Texas as of right now, but little small boutique that he had in Baltimore became really big. So
damn, I'm over here like just paying attention to what's going on, and just the way that some of these unfortunate petty crimes are happening and the break-ins and the other things. And then you watch these shops and I'm like, why doesn't anybody break in there? Like there's tons of valuable shit in there.
One of the issues they had down in the area was where he was at, there's a bunch of break-ins going in. Kind of sad story because like
it's super sad.
This gentleman does so much for the community. So the same individuals that are breaking in, he's giving back to. So.
Well, it's like every time I drive north on Falls Road, I drive by Joe's Bike Shop. I don't know if you're familiar with Joe's. I don't bike. It's not my thing. But I remember seeing a video when I was younger. Like I was probably 16, 17 on Facebook for like the first time. Maybe I was a little bit older because I remember it was a Fox 45 thing. And they showed the video of people breaking in and stealing bikes. And I'm like, this is the local bike shop. Like this isn't like... Dick's Sporting Goods. This is like someone that's very involved in the community. I always remember that because I feel to myself the challenge that we have as a community is like to enhance and enrich the community, but it's not a simple one-step solution, right? So you got people that are giving back to the community and subsequently having challenges. And you mentioned this guy's now moving to Texas. And, I think to myself, well, how much of that is because of the challenges that they have here? Maybe this, grass is always greener, but maybe the sun is brighter in Texas. I don't know.
Yeah, not sure, but I know that he's been doing well and his family there as well.
That's awesome.
Another store.
Yeah.
We also had two other friends on there. I had my friend named Matt. He actually has a brand called Rare Couture. So it's like a in-house clothing brand that is spreading. He does pop-up shops in the mall as well.
Okay.
My one friend named Tony Harden. Amazing guy. He has actually a program called Cake Dreams that actually sends shoes to third world countries. So
damn.
A collective individuals that are my friends that just wanted to share their stories with.
They all started in the middle of the mall, like when you were making your walk from Foot Locker to Annie Ann's, they were trying to stop you and sell you something and you guys became friends.
Similar to that. Sometimes basketball, a lot of it was from maybe church. It could have been from other friends. But you were talking about sneaker shows. A lot of times you meet individuals like these at these sneaker shows or conferences. And it's kind of like a secret society, kind of like a private community where people sell, people form relationships. So it's been a blessing, since.
Yeah, it's very cool. I think it's an opportunity to be with somebody that's also thinking the same way. So kind of that millionaire mindset. You can't be with a bunch of cows if you want to go be a zebra. Like it doesn't work that way. So you got to surround yourself with people that think the same way. I think it's obvious what you've done is similar, right? The other thing that we know about society in general is people that go, from lower school to middle school to high school to college to job don't have as much motivation and drive and grit as people that have really like worked their way through life, whatever that might be. And so it sounds like all these people, they're hustlers. They're the people in the middle of the mall, like really hustling. Yeah. And those are the people that are going to be rich, right? Whether it's physically, monetarily, but they're certainly going to be rich emotionally because they're going to know that their hard work is paying off. And that to me is what, we should be doing as a community. I wish we were doing more of it, to be honest with you, but to each their own.
No, these individuals, man, are people I look up to. They're business owners as well, and they strive to be the best. So it's kind of like a blessing to have them.
Ooh, look who's here.
Do we have a special guest coming in?
We have a special guest.
Can I get a drum roll, please?
We're drum rolling for you. We're just hot mic until you get on. We're waiting for you.
I got all my stuff.
And your records
too as well. Okay.
Yeah, are you familiar with this turnstile?
No. Tell me about it.
See? Oh, here we go. How many shoes do you have?
I don't have any from back then.
No, but like how many shoes do you have? Like total shoes in your closet?
20.
I think that's a normal amount of shoes.
That is true.
There are some dudes that are like 3. I'm like, What's wrong with you, right? Those are also the same dudes that when you go to a wedding, they're like, oh, God, this is so uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Because they're like always used to wearing the same thing. I have the same select shoes that I wear consistently, probably 4, 5 shoes that I wear like on a regular basis, but I probably have 20 pair of shoes.
I would probably say the same thing. Like I wear my boots, I wear my Hokas, I wear my Under Armour like training shoes, and then I have something that I kind of like wear around the house. Ooh. If it's hot as shit out, I'll throw on. We were talking about them the other day. What are the fucking Jesus sandals?
No, 2-step hot question. What is your take on Hokas?
I love them. They're comfortable.
Not what I thought you were going to say.
All right. Comfortability, I live for that.
They're very thick and bulky as well. So
okay. And then second, what is your take on Crocs?
Crocs.
We've had some hot takes about this.
There's a bunch of like flavorful Crocs that I like.
Okay. Glenn, pay attention.
Would I wear them to work? No.
Well, yeah.
Have you ever heard of there's a streetwear brand called Market?
Yeah.
Okay. So they came out with Grateful Dead tie-dye Crocs.
What are we talking about?
A couple years ago. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
They
and so yellow ones and.
Yeah, they were tie-dye. They even came up with the little like charms. I think they're called giblets or whatever that you can put on them that were like Grateful
giblets.
Dead. But it's like a huge streetwear brand, and
they're the giblets.
And what was really
Crocs.
Like, they sold out like that, and there's so many things, dude. The streetwear, for lack of a better term, culture goes so deep. Not just like in store, but online. Like there's these things called bots. So when like things drop online, just like robots will go ahead and put it in your cart and check out, which is crazy. I remember when that first came out, one of my sneakerhead friends, Matt, put me on. And I was like, oh shit, dude, like let me get that. So we can try and get all the best shoes that we knew would sell out online that you can try and like skip out on waiting on the lines in store. But yeah, I'm not really into it as much as I used to be. Just life took me in another direction. But it's also kind of funny the timing that you've come to this podcast, because you see that building across the street. Yeah. So literally, it's basically after this band, Turnstile. They're from Baltimore, right? And so we put it on our podcast, or not podcast, Instagram the other day, that they were painting this building, and Liv, she was like, what color are they painting it next? What color are they painting it next? I was like, what the fuck? That's exactly like Turnstile. There's a pop-up shop. There's a brand carpet that I'm wearing today that is from Baltimore as well, that did a collab with Turnstile. Like they're all friends from Baltimore. And they did a giant pop-up shop here. Oh. The line was from that yellow door to the left in the parking lot, down to the sidewalk, all the way down to Good Neighbor. Yeah. And it was literally from like 12 to 4 to 5 p.m. Probably everyone cleared out.
I also need you to know that I don't have anything in my life that I've ever been like, oh, let me stand in line for this. Like, not an iPhone, not a Playboy, not a
You're not
Game
about that,
Boy,
though,
not
dude.
a nothing. Like, there's nothing in my life that I'm like, oh my God, let me get the first one. Right? Like when I show up to, the only thing that I would say that I quote unquote collect, right? When I show up to a liquor store and they have something cool, I'm like, maybe I'll buy that, right? Like I don't really care. I'm not like waiting for the one, or I'm not going to come in next Tuesday when you get a delivery. No, like that's just not me. I just want to like
You're
live
just
my
into
life
different
and
things. It's
enjoy.
okay. That's certainly fine. But you got to let us live our life in that fucking parking lot across the street. They had
in the heat, nonetheless.
It wasn't even that bad. I was under the shade, so I was
I
chilling.
do agree. It was much nicer than
I think it's
most
like about
times.
just lining up, staying at night, just talking to your friends, and having that amazing moment that kind of like makes everything worth it.
Never
It's a
had
huge
that.
community thing too. It's
Never had
literally
that.
like EXPCon, but just mix in some streetwear with it.
Yeah.
Like you're there for
I
the
don't
community.
I don't line up to go to that.
You line up to go to Tom Ferry.
I don't do that either.
We sat outside for like 30 minutes so we could be up front.
I do that to make a point for
It's
you guys.
it's the same thing though.
I
Like,
do that
there
to
is
make
a
a point
giant,
for you guys.
I get that, but there is a giant like community behind like
Everything.
Yeah. So like when I was in line, I met people that were fans of the Dead. There's a guy wearing a Grateful Dead hat. I met people that were from Frederick. Met people that from Baltimore moved out to LA and now works for like a music producer. And so it's just really cool.
Already.
He's not about it. You can tell.
Not even a
but
little
like,
bit.
there's a huge community behind it,
Like-
and you make so many connections.
Like, the guy that sits out on his lawn in a yard chair and he goes, get off my lawn. Like everybody's there for the next door neighbors thing.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there intentionally inside of me, that's me. But do I have the energy to sit out there? No, no, not at all. I'm not even going to care. Like, oh, yeah, somebody's on my lawn. My wife, however, would be the person that's like looking through the window. She's like, there's someone on our lawn. And I go, it's fine. Yeah. Are you going to go out there and yell at anybody? No. Okay, cool. Then shut up. Sorry. Love you. But I just have zero. There's no part of me that's like, oh, I have to get the coolest sneaker. As a matter of fact, you mentioned that Kobe passed away, right?
Yeah.
I was in San Diego the day that Kobe passed away.
Oh, wow.
And I was at a restaurant, and it was very, very low key. It was like 2:30 in the afternoon. You know, nobody's at a bar at 2:30 in the afternoon. We were trying to get a sandwich. We were hungry. We just showed up, whatever. We're sitting there. The girl offers us a drink. I go, can I get a water? She goes away. She doesn't come back. We're like, where is this girl? Oh, wow. She comes back. She's like crying. We're like, what? She said, Kobe died. And my friend goes, oh, wow, holy shit. Like, big deal. And I go, okay. Yeah. Like, there's no part of me that, like, cares. It's not that I don't care that he died. Like, I care. But I'm not, like, emotionally a train wreck over some basketball player, baseball player, shoe. Like, I don't care. Yeah. I just want to, like, live my life and be happy. I don't know.
I got a crazy Kobe story. So I used to work for environmental sports and entertainment, Washington, D.C. So I was an intern, and my second day on the job, they asked me if I wanted to go to the suite. So we go to the suite, and we look down on the floor, and it's the Lakers practicing, and it's like Phil Jackson, Shannon Brown, Paul Gasol. This is like
that's a vibe.
Yeah, that's a vibe. But I'm like, where's Kobe at? So I'm looking up, I'm looking down, right, and there's a guy sitting on the sideline, feet crossed, just chilling like this, right? A gray sweatsuit, and I'm just like, that's Kobe. It's Kobe, because if you don't know, Kobe didn't practice towards the end of his career. You know? He's an all-star, so you wanted to practice, but that day like changed my whole life. I'm like, to be able to see him.
I get
legend,
it.
You know,
I get it.
Yeah.
But I also just like, I don't know, when the Ravens won the Super Bowl last time, there was a Super Bowl parade. There was a big thing at the stadium. Yeah. My friends were like, oh, hey, you want to go? I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's experience this. It's cool. Right. And then it was cold. It was like, we're just sitting there, like listening to Steve Bisciotti talk over a microphone. And I'm like, I don't care about
For some
this
reason, I think it's like, for me, it's like part of the history of it, right?
Yeah,
it
is.
It is a significant moment. Like, I just got back from New York to see another band.
When?
What do you mean? I saw Goose at Madison Square Garden last weekend.
Literally, nobody knew.
Literally, everybody knew.
Yeah, that's why you were late.
Literally, everybody knew. But this band, first time ever playing Madison Square Garden, they sold it out. Oh, wow. Like in the jam band scene, playing Madison Square Garden is a huge deal. Even outside,
any band scene.
I would say any, but like,
yeah, if I was like a pianist and I was playing Madison Square Garden, I feel like
Madison
that'd be a
Square
win.
Garden has a lot of history, especially in the jam band scene. So when Goose got to be able to book it, it sold out like that. I had pit tickets, dude. It wasn't by all means the best set list or show. I had seen all the songs before, and it's not a repeat show just because I had seen them. There was a few that I haven't, but it was just to be a part of that moment, a part of that history, like be able to experience them playing Madison Square Garden for the very first time, sold out completely. Hey, Liv, we have a guest. Do you have a guest?
Who's here?
I don't know. Someone's at the door. But it was so cool to see them and be a part of that, just like how it was.
John?
Liv, John, anybody? There was this event right over here.
Hello.
Oh, that's my guest. That's my.
Oh, okay. Come on in.
We over here. We're just hot micing third person on here.
Live.
Yeah. Come hop on if you want to join.
Oh, you might have locked the door.
Here, just turn the top knob.
Bet. Unlock. There you go.
There you go.
This is my friend Natasha, y'all.
Natasha, nice to meet you. Christian, this is Mike.
Now she goes.
There you go.
Okay, got it. We're just slow rolling everybody. Somebody gonna show up with pizza later. We're good.
But like again, I think it's part of like the history and being able to experience that moment and make those connections, just the way that you make other connections.
I don't disagree with you. I think that you are 110% right. I don't know.
Nah, it's just not you, and that's fine. But I am curious. Do you have like in all your times of going to a shoe release, in line, standing there, camping out overnight, whatever it may be? Do you have the craziest story at all?
Yeah, I think the shoe was called Jordan 5 Bel Air 5s.
Okay.
Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Yeah.
So like, man, I remember like hearing about this release, and they said it was going to be at White Marsh. So the goal is to try to figure out where it's going to be located, but it's always on the hush.
Yeah, like which store?
Yeah, which store or who's having it. And they're always saying like, oh, we don't have them, or we might get them, or
We
might do a raffle, we might not. First come, first serve.
Right.
So I found out that's at White Marsh at Foot Action. And
Okay.
yeah, man. So we're waiting in line. It's an overnighter, so we're staying in line.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And the thing is, like, you have to like make sure you stay in line. If not,
You're
gonna be
screwed.
it's gonna be a
For
fight
this.
breaking out.
Yeah.
Yes. Bel Air Fives, man.
Yeah.
So we're waiting in line, and it gets to the morning time, about 8 o'clock. You see the employees go in, and it's like, oh, it's about to be time, and it gets canceled.
No.
So like spending the night, and I got to work also at 10 o'clock too as well. So it's 8 o'clock, 2 hours, no sleep, you know. Damn. And it gets canceled supposedly, right? So
Who announced that? Did they? Did one of the
a general
employees?
manager or one of the employees? They're like, hey, we're canceling the release because there's too much chaos going on. So people are lining up, and then when people see the line, they're like, let's jump in line, right?
Yeah.
So it gets canceled, and people are still floating around the mall, you know, trying to figure out what's going on. But what happened was they said they shipped the shoes to another store. They actually never did at all. And I believe they ended up selling the shoes like later on around like 2 o'clock.
At that shop?
Yeah. And
That's
that was kind
so
of the thing.
fucked up.
But like, I've seen other times where almost getting stabbed in the shoe release where
Damn.
I'm at East Point Mall, and knowing when the door opens, everybody's running.
That's how it used to be.
I'm good.
So you get, and the guy had a knife, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go
Hang back a little bit.
I will say this particular shoe, size
fat.
15, is selling for $4,057 right now.
Dude,
Shoo-hoo.
one of my friends,
That's a good investment.
He's still into the whole sneaker world, like game and everything like that. He has a collection of like all the new off-white ones, like all these. Like he even has like the Union LA
How do
ones.
you have
like,
these shoes displayed in your house? I'm going to judge you real hard right now.
So I have them on like shoe boxes, like on the wall.
Like shoe boxes, right? The
Like,
boxes the shoes came in?
No, the
The
clear
clear ones,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And they're mounted to the wall, or they're the square ones that like floor to ceiling.
floor to ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like stacked.
Yeah.
So,
That's the only way to do it.
yeah.
But like these shoes, like my friends, they've gone up in so much value, and it's almost not like a retirement fund, but like, I mean, it's got to be like a good old like crypto investment at that point. You know, you got like 40, 50 grand in collection of shoes.
Yeah, if you have 400 shoes and their average price was $200,
That's
average.
It's incredible, man. The amount of
that's a
shoes
lot of
that
money,
he has, and like he can tell me every single story, pull them out the drawer and be like, all right, these ones are from here, these ones are from here, these are why these are so special, and like Jordan flu game 12s or 11s or whatever. Like he'll explain all the stories to me, and it's so fascinating, and it's just like his. That's like his Grateful Dead for me.
I feel like if somebody were to say to me, hey, do you want to go see the Grateful Dead? I would say, okay, sure. Like if somebody was like, hey, I got tickets, we're going to go tonight.
Yeah.
That's one of the other big challenges for me.
No, you'd be like that's my
seeing
wife
something
first,
that's
and then,
3 months out, I'm like, right? But if somebody said, hey, do you want these shoes? I'd look at these shoes. Yeah, they're cool. Sure. How much are they, right? This Bel Air alternate.
Yeah.
No.
So there was,
Anyway.
There was one time I went to Annapolis Mall. I want to say it was either foam posit like crimson red.
Oh yeah.
Or it was the
Classic.
Jordan Bread 11s.
Both classics.
I couldn't tell you what year it was, but same thing. We're all hanging outside the mall. It's like one of those mall doors where there's like two here, two here, two here, and they're like, which one's the security guard going to open up first? And then he goes to the one with the lock, and then everyone's like flooding in there, and you start booking it to the Foot Locker. And there was two, so there's Foot Locker, and then down the mall, I think it was like
Action?
DTLR.
Okay.
And we were like, well, which one do we line up in? Because there was another door on the other side of the mall that was open at the same time, but we were closer to Foot Locker. So then we're like, fuck it, we'll sit in the Foot Locker line, and then my buddy's dad went to the DTLR line. And some dude in the Foot Locker line passed out in the middle of the whole thing. Like, I guess from like either the built up energy or excitement, whatever, not having breakfast, not having water, the whole thing, right?
Probably dehydrated.
Yeah, all that stuff can add up really quickly when you're in those like high intensity excitement moments.
Is a healthy shoe collection?
and literally just passes out in line. We had to call an ambulance, like EMT, everyone came to the scene. That was my crazy story. Nothing like stabbing or like that, like someone canceling it. But dude, I remember, man, it was like, shit, which store are they going to open? Where do you got to run to? Are they going to have them?
How, like, on another level you guys are. And I'm not saying you're on another level for most people, but healthy shoe collection, bare minimum 2 pairs, right? For rotational, for, good for your feet to change your shoes, blah, 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 whatever, right? 5 to 6 can cover basic needs. 10 to 25 is a wider variety, such as suits and different activity seasons and occasions, and 30 plus. There's no 100 plus over here. I want you to know you are in the psychotic level.
Wait, you have 100 plus?
400.
Damn.
Yeah, and see,
I missed that part of the conversation. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So if you had to rank your number one, what is it?
Man, I have a custom shoe by like a gentleman called Emulator.
Okay.
It's a high top Air Force One.
Okay.
Purple and orange, but inside, this is before like customizing was like a thing.
Okay.
Has like Charles Barkley like face on it.
Holy shit.
And it was inside one of the like famous magazine. I think it was called Soul Magazine.
Okay.
Like a sneaker magazine. So to be able to see that shoe and be able to grab it, and I think I went on eBay.
Yeah.
Probably one of my top shoes. I also have some 97 Sean Weatherspoons. They're like the classic shoe that he had recently. I won it in a raffle.
That's awesome.
So like,
That's legit.
so
Those are always more fun.
Yeah, instead of spending like $1,000 on it, I only spent $170 on it.
Yeah.
So,
that's awesome, man.
but like shoes like that, like I just love collecting shoes from eBay. I used to always, so me and Glenn used to work down to Port of Baltimore. So during our work
What'd
time,
you do at the port? How did I not know that?
we didn't do anything at all. We actually measured cargo and inspect cargo. That was like the highest paying job back then. We was making like $17 an hour.
There you go.
Yeah.
Amazing out of high school. So, but as he was working and we were working, we would shop. Well, I would shop on eBay, trying to win some shoes.
So those are your favorite, right?
Yeah.
You have a series of shoes that you wear on a regular basis, and then you have basketball shoes, no doubt.
Yeah,
right.
Because gotta have a couple.
You got to have a shoe that you don't wear on the street. You only wear on the court.
Yeah, definitely.
You probably have 2 or 3 of those.
One inside and one outdoor as well.
Yeah. So like 7, right? 3 of the indoors and 4 of the outdoors.
Who's counting?
Yeah. right. Okay. But how do you even keep track? Do you have like an organizational system?
Boxes and labels. Normally it's like, hey, I love like low top shoes.
Okay.
So, it's kind of hard to keep count. To be honest with you, but I think it's more about, unfortunately, trying to live like childhood memories. Like, man, I couldn't, like, back in our day. How old are you?
39 as of tomorrow.
Okay, so we about the same age. I'm 39 too as well. We used to have these 2 for $100 shoes. So it was like Air Force Ones, shell toe. You pick any 2, and I would get a pair of black ones and a pair of white ones, and that was it. And before then, we probably had 1 pair of shoes for the whole school year. My mom was not buying any shoes. So
that was my life too.
now I had the opportunity to kind of like, make some better decisions, not too many though.
Better. So mine was, we got a pair of shoes every school year.
Okay.
So like if we went to the store, we could go buy a shoe and my parents would give us like a budget. They'd say if it's under the budget, we pay. If it's over the budget, you have to pay with your own money extra, right? So then I would go and do dumb shit. Like I'd run around with my friends, or I would get like my shoelaces caught in my bike chain.
Sounds dangerous.
Well, I mean, like, you're a kid. My shoelace would get caught in the bike chain or whatever. Like, so one time I was running with my friends in the woods. We were doing like capture the flag. And so I took my brother's shoes because I didn't want to ruin mine. So like I took my brother's shoes and left him on the porch when I was done with them. I don't even remember if I got in trouble for that, but that was how I used to like kind of manage keeping my stuff clean. One of the problems that I've always had.
Does he know that?
I think so. I mean,
if not, he knows now.
I'm sure that he knew, but I don't know.
He come up to the porch, be like, "How the hell my shoes get all dirty?"
They might have been like his old shoes too. Like he might have. I don't know, but
So you had two shoes,
Well, yeah. I mean, I had my old shoes, and then I had my new shoes, and and then I had my brother's shoes. Yeah. My brother's older than me, so that always worked to my advantage. But then the other challenge that I have is, like you said, you get a black pair, white pair, right? So I get a black pair, a white pair. I like one more, right? So I put them off to the side, and then I wear the other. And then I'm like damaging and ruining and whatever. But then I don't want to like change into the new ones because they're nice.
Yeah.
So that's like the challenge that I always have is like, if I put one off to the side, then I'm like treasuring them. And then at what time So I do have one pair of shoes, and my wife was like, "You should wear those shoes today," and I was like, "No," right? Because it's like they're off to the side. They're like one pair that's just in the box up on the top of the shelf, right? And I don't know.
I used to get like Air Force as well when I was young. My friend Adam that I grew up with put me on them, and then I would get the high top ones. Dude, I would run those things through any freaking element, the rain, the dirt, the snow. Like, I would beat the shit out of those things. It got to one point, like, where our elementary school and middle school would have, like, a kickball field, and we would go play kickball, and those would be the shoes I'm wearing. And I'm not even kidding you. It would turn the yellow of the Maryland flag behind us here. That's how yellow they would get. Oh, my God. Those things took a beating, man.
Circling back to the world, right? Back to Baltimore, right? If you could take on a project, if you could take on one thing to give back to the community, money's no issue.
Yeah.
What would you do?
Man, I went to, I think, over like PG County, and they had this huge like indoor community center.
Okay.
I would put one in Baltimore. Like, this center had 3 basketball courts. It had like 3 or 4 gyms. It had like 2 regular gyms. Yeah. It also had like an Olympic gym set.
Damn.
Fencing. They had rock climbing. I think they're like, for me, as a teacher as well, there's not enough community centers that open up long enough. I think like this year they started to have like midnight basketball. Okay. But a lot of times, like, children don't have anywhere to go or safe spaces. Yeah,
after
so it's
4 or 5 or whatever the time is. Right.
So creating safe spaces around Baltimore, multiple projects.
It's a super like teacher moment, but I can agree with you.
Yeah.
Did you feel it?
Yeah. What do you teach?
What would you do?
So I teach at.
You came late.
I know. I'm catching up.
Whose fault is that?
It is my fault.
You gotta watch the replay.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I actually teach in Baltimore City, and also I teach in Pikesville as well.
Okay.
Wait, now you teach in Pikesville as well?
Yeah, I was sitting there for the end. So I'm a basketball coach at shout out to KSDS, Trinity Shetler Day School.
Okay.
Over on Exit 20. So I coach.
That's awesome.
Over there. And also I coach at North Bay Elementary too as well. So,
okay. Awesome.
So do a little bit of everything.
Fun fact, man. I was looking up, the shoes, the teaching, the photography, videography. Have you had any like recent photography or videography projects you've been working on?
Yeah. So projects as far as I've been trying to get into more weddings. Okay. Per se. So I just came back yesterday from a wedding.
Oh wow.
I don't have anything like currently down. Like
you just released your podcast.
Yeah, so
he missed the whole first half of this whole thing.
I was watching some clips earlier this morning.
The last biggest thing is the podcast. That's the focus right now. So we just wrapped up last Sunday, putting the project out. We did it about last September.
Yeah.
So that's the main
Jesus,
focus right now.
what took you so long to get it out?
Man, like
click record, click play, turn and burn.
How do you like it?
I love it, man. I think that I've learned so much in the podcast world, how to like organize, how to communicate, how to share thoughts, and also how to execute it. I think that like, for me, if I didn't have a team to do it and assist me, it wouldn't have got done. So shout out to my team, Trinice and Trey. Did an amazing job. Trinice she did all the editing, all the posting. Right now, you see Trey has done so. I'm happy to have them, a part of this project.
Of course. Of course.
But I've been doing also a lot of photography work. So since I do basketball training and coaching, I shoot a lot of my kids' basketball games. So I'll go to the games and take shots. So this year I've been trying to stretch myself. I've been going to championship games. My goal right now is to fly to LA on Wednesday. And I'm trying to shoot for the NBA G League, not NBA G League, NBA summer program. So
that'll be cool.
That's my
now,
goal.
What is that summer program? Is that for like the NBA players? Is that for kids or
a summer league? So they basically are in LA right now.
Okay.
I think from the 10th to the 16th.
Okay.
And my goal is to try to get a couple photos of Bronny. Some Cooper Flag.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get on the court. So that's the next real, project per se.
That'll be really, and that's
coming
raw
up, footage.
Yeah.
Take AI, program it, make clips of this person, this person, this person, this person. Should be like,
listen. So I don't even have to go to Vegas. I can just do it.
No, you gotta go take the raw footage. Yeah. Somebody's got to take the raw footage. That's the whole thing. But I agree with you. I think that we need more opportunity for kids in our community. Yeah. Christian, what would you do if you had endless supply of money?
The one thing that I've always wanted to do was like try and give more like musical instruments back to kids in the community, just because how much I love music. And like, you know, hearing Turnstile's story of like growing up here in Baltimore, bro, I'm just relating it to like real world experiences too. But like people like Goose, or like you go to Grateful Dead, or Liv's favorite but terrible band, Arctic Monkeys. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But like people's favorite bands, like what happens to that person never picked up an instrument, never got into music, or how many more of those people are out there that their talent isn't being discovered, but also getting that enjoyment out of a musical instrument. And like it's so freeing in a way. Like it's where when I was in college, like I played in a garage band, and to be able to like jam with a few people and you're really getting into it, it's unlike anything else. I will say that, especially to be a part of something like that and you all kind of come together in this moment. I think it's very powerful, but to give, you know, other people that opportunity, I would love to do something like that.
Yeah, I think like creative arts are missing in Baltimore County and Baltimore City. Yeah, especially so like programs like that, like dealing with STEM. Yeah, drawing, arts. Anything creative.
I wish I was able to get into it at a much earlier time in my life. Like I grew up pretty heavily into like baseball, and then as I got into high school, I played a little bit of hockey, but you know, wasn't too much into music, like playing instruments or knowing a whole lot about music. Obviously I would listen to it in the car rides and things like that, but not getting heavily into an art like that. And then, you know, my dad got a couple of guitars as I was growing up, and I kind of messed around with them. And then, you know, getting to my later years in high school, early in college, I started to take it a little bit more seriously and really dive into it, especially as my connection with music grew a little bit stronger. And then ever since then, it's kind of taken it off and been like a big part of my life. I don't play as much as I do anymore. I still have my guitars laying around, so I can pick them up every now and then. But, you know, I think music, the arts, it's very, very impactful on people, you know?
I agree. Interesting.
What would yours be?
I don't know. Nobody wants to hear my perspective.
Maybe podcasting, you know?
Yeah. I think my issue, if there was a never-ending supply of money for kids especially, it would be just to... like, this is gonna sound funny, but like mentor with a leash. Like the problem I see is that there's too much freedom, and so in a weird kind of like backwards way, we've given so much opportunity to kids, and we've given so much out there that now they just have this like unique sense of freedom, and so there's not a whole lot of I don't know what the word would be, but support is what I'm gonna say. Because whether you put a guitar in front of somebody or you put someone in a basketball court, they still have to use it, right? And so the bigger challenge that I see is that there's no
structure,
accountability, structure, support, leadership, you know, mentorship in that way. And so it's not so much about, you know, do we provide these resources for kids? It's more, will they be accountable to using them? Yeah. And so, I don't know. I think in a good way, bad way, we need more strict rules, responsibilities, and accountability. But that comes with money too. So I think if we provide those resources, that's really valuable. If we provide musical instruments, that's really valuable too. But we also need someone sort of leading the charge that's going to say, hey, pick up an instrument now because I told you to. Not because you want to, not because it's your opportunity, right? Like pick up a basketball. We're going to learn how to dribble. We're going to have basic skill building. And if you don't like it, that's fine. You can move on. But like we need that sort of accountability. Otherwise, they're going to be like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't think there's no like system or programs. Like they normally introduce the idea.
Yeah.
It should be a pathway where it's like, here's the ways you can do with basketball. If you want to be a musician, right? You can be a talent agent. Like there's so many things you can do in this field. But normally it's like, we only have enough money and resources to kind of show you the introduction.
Well, but also think about music, right? We're going to start with piano, horn, saxophone. We're not starting with things like people want to play, right? Yeah. Are we starting with like a keyboard? Are we starting with jazz music? Are we starting with something that might get them excited? I'm not saying that we are or we aren't. I'm not. Don't yell at me.
I also think it's part of like getting introduced to that experience is like the biggest thing for me.
Right.
Is because
that's what I mean.
Didn't have the experience to really get in heavily into music. Like had the opportunity and experience to get into sports, but then even like let's talk about like career path, right? Like I went to 4 years of college, probably even 5, but maybe 6. Now I'm in real estate, right? Like those worlds do somewhat overlap. Some of the skills can kind of transfer, but like, you know, being able to understand those opportunities, what can come along with that and what enjoyment it brings or doesn't bring. And then you can kind of take that into a consideration of like, what do you want to do, right? And I think that's kind of like how I really live a lot of my life now, is being able to experience these things and then being able to have that ability to say, hey, this is a part of my life, or it's not. Not that that's right or wrong, but just, hey, does it bring me that enjoyment, you know? And I think, you know, we can kind of all agree on something like that as to where having these opportunities, which is like probably the best thing that we can go for, you know?
I think if we had never-ending resources, we could just provide more. And that's the biggest thing that's missing. Is the opportunity to provide. But I digress. At any rate, so always fun to have you. I know you were a little late today, but
I'm glad I got in for the time that I did. This was a lot of fun. And when I saw that you're into shoes, man, I was like, I got to get my ass up there and spend some time chatting about it. Dude, I'm telling you, it was a core memory growing up, and like the whole sneaker world. Again, I'm a little distant from it now, but certainly hits home from when I was much younger.
Yeah, so. For sure. Well, if you want to read more about this podcast, this blog is on our website at frankoliverco.com. Under additional resources, you can find the blog. And you can always find us on Instagram at michael.frank____. How can people reach out to you on Instagram?
Yeah, definitely. So you can check out my Instagram page at Fresh to the Soul. So it's Fresh, TWOTHASOUL.
Okay.
And also the Fresh Podcast. So you can check me out.
That's on Instagram as well?
Instagram as well.
And then is your podcast on like Spotify or YouTube or anything else yet?
So it's actually on YouTube. So it's on Shoot Her Productions.
Okay.
So Trinice is the person that did the behind the scene work. So you can go there as well.
Perfect.
To find the 5 episodes of Kicks and Combo.
Cool.
Right on. And you guys can find me on Instagram at Christian the Deadhead.
Thank you so much.
Right on.